up, America? Neil here with Geauga Firearms Academy. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to make a very important video about self-defense without a firearm. For those of you that haven't trained with me before, a little bit about my background. I have over 10 years of martial arts experience in reality-based self-defense, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and executive protection training. I've studied over 4 different styles of martial arts that are very different in their application. I've studied in 7 different institutions in 3 different states. Being very proficient and effective with weapons handling and firearms training is obviously very important. But no matter how good you get, and I hope that you achieve the highest levels you can, having more options is always very important. As the saying goes, if you're trained to use a hammer, then everything's a nail. And having those options can, in many times, have a scenario play out where you don't have to use necessarily deadly force to diffuse a situation. Now, I believe that martial arts are very important, and I will be the first to say, whether you like this or not, and I may hurt some feelings today, but I'm here to give you facts from actual experience. And I will tell you that all martial arts are not created equal. So if you are already in a martial art or you're planning on taking one, let me just tell you what some things that you want to have, or what to look for rather. So first off, if you, in whatever discipline that you're doing, if you're doing a lot of movements where you're trying to perfect that particular move or technique or method, that's great, and maybe you can do that to textbook perfection. But if you're not involved in a discipline that allows you to actually train combatively with other students at different levels, you will definitely find that what you're learning is not going to translate into real life. Simply put, what this means is your ability to perform a technique or a movement against a cooperative partner, although practice is important, doesn't equate to anything as far as can you do this, will this technique that you're learning actually work against a non-cooperative opponent, someone who's really trying to do serious bodily harm to you. For those of you that are not new to my channel, have seen other videos, you know that I wear Gracie Jiu-Jitsu shirts and so forth, and I cannot encourage you enough, whether you're a man or a woman out there, if you're looking for self-defense, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is the first place I would tell you to go to, and probably will be your last place. There's, with any discipline though, I will tell you that Jiu-Jitsu as a whole will go in different directions. There's MMA type schools, there is competition specific schools. What you want to look for is a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu that focuses on self-defense. One of the terms that's used a lot that you want to look for is Gracie Combatives. Gracie Combatives is basically taking the most important and effective techniques that are used in self-defense on the street against opponents that can be significantly larger, stronger, faster, and maybe outnumber you, where there are no rules. This is what you want to focus on trying to find, a Gracie school, especially one that has Gracie Combatives. Why Gracie Jiu-Jitsu? And again, I'm not knocking any other art out there. I'm just telling you that I've trained with many different systems, and this one I find to be the most effective for a lot of reasons. But first, if you ever go back and if you've never seen this, you should definitely take a peek. It's definitely an interesting exposure to the fighting realm, which is the UFC, the first couple of UFCs, 1 and 2, when it all began. When it first came about from the Gracies, it had no weight classes, no time limits, and no rules. And the opponents were extremely different in what they did. And it was very apparent very quickly what systems worked and what systems broke down. If your training, your discipline doesn't have a lot of work on what happens in worst case scenarios, in other words, what happens when you're on the ground and someone bigger than you is on top of you? What if you're taken from behind? What if you are being choked or in some form of a headlock? If these aren't concentrated, focused areas in your discipline, I'm sorry to tell you that it's not going to equate into real life. We talk about situational awareness. In fact, I just put a video out there. No one is aware of everything at all times. Anyone can be taken advantage of, no matter how much we try. That's just the fact of life. And there's always going to be someone bigger, faster, stronger. That's why we train, to push ourselves and to be the best that we can be. But there's going to be times, unfortunately, when we're going to find ourselves in a worst case scenario. And if you're not routinely training for that, you have no chance of success in real life. And the last component of this video I want to talk about is physical fitness, okay? I don't care if you look like you just rolled out of boot camp and you're in the best shape of your life. What I am saying is that you need to be pushing yourself to be the best that you can be whatever stage of your life that you are in, okay? Your ability to defend yourself, although it's not necessarily just strength, but being in shape, being able to handle damage that may be done to you or deliver damage is extremely important. I can tell you right now that there's people out there that are fantastic cardio machines. I mean, they're marathon runners, and they come into jiu-jitsu, and for the first time in their lives, it's very apparent to them that they don't have the cardio capacity to keep up, because running does not equate to an actual fight. Having a smooth rhythm and doing something over long durations is nothing like an actual combative scenario where someone is trying to do something to you and you're using all your strength and all your ability, especially if you have no training. Because what else do you have other than strength and struggle? And they find very quickly how limited you are. So physical fitness is very important, obviously, to stay healthy, but also to be able to perform at your best in the worst case scenario possible, where you have to defend yourself and maybe you can't get to your firearm, or that's just not possible, or even worse, it's taken from you. Being in shape is very, very critical. Alrighty guys, I hope you learned something from here. I hope it was a little eye-opening maybe, or at least got you to think, get you thinking about these things, self-defense and physical fitness, and how important they are. And depending on what the demand is, we may even make some series on self-defense that show you some techniques, at least something that will get you to go, maybe I need some competent training in these areas. And you can kind of see what that looks like. So if there's interest in that, maybe we'll do that next. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe below, because you'll get notified every time I put a new video out. Thumbs up if you liked it. I always appreciate that. Comment if you will, but don't fight. Until next time, remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.